When we're really passionate about something, we both agree that we can move forward with those opportunities. If we disagree, it's okay, well, let's go collect data and the data will make the decision.
Welcome to the Founders Forum. I'm Blake Tengberg, a transactions attorney at Foley and Lardner. Very excited to have Ben Art together with us today. Ben is the Chief Executive Officer and one of the original founders of Masset. Ben, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Well, first, tell us a little bit about Masset.
Yeah, you bet. So I am a lifelong marketer. I love everything about marketing and content and storytelling. And I've had a really fun career starting out on the agency side. Then I moved to in-house marketing. And then ultimately I found myself in the tech business. And as things grew, we relied on content more and more, but it was really difficult for people to find it, manage it, utilize it, track it, all sorts of stuff. And so really just out of my own experience and wanting to build something that I've always wanted in my career, that's where we really came up with the idea of Masset. Masset is a platform for tech, SaaS, and growing businesses to really centralize all of their marketing content in one place. We give everyone in the company access. Everyone can get into the system, find their content, manage it, make sure it's up to date, do version control, all sorts of fun stuff, but really trying to align the business around content, making sure everyone has the content they need, that they have the right stories and the material to help them regardless of what their job responsibilities are. It really just gives everyone the access and the content and the material that they need to do their job and to be successful. And we really want companies to just have a really positive ROI from their content.
That's fantastic. I know you guys have experienced some good early success so far in the company's trajectory. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Well, tell me a little bit about something. I mean, when you started the company, you were the original founder, just you. A decent while into the process, you decided to bring on a co-founder. Tell me about what that decision was like, what factors influenced that, and why you eventually decided to go that way.
Yeah, for sure. You're right. So when I first started, I was a solo founder and I had this crazy idea that I really wanted to see fulfilled. I think any entrepreneur can relate, where you just have this itch to build. You want to build something that you want to see in the world. And so I decided, hey, I've tried side projects before. It doesn't really work for me. I'm all in on what I'm doing. So I had to leave my last business and be all in, kind of burn the ships mentality and be all in. So I went out there, started doing the research, figuring out what to build, figuring out the resources, things like that. And really just as I came in contact with really talented people, it was becoming clearer and clearer, like outsourcing development and finding a way to build this was going to be really difficult. And then eventually I met Tyler, who is my co-founder, and Tyler, was a mutual connection of some friends. And on the side, as contract work in the evenings, just start helping, architect and build the platform out that I was looking to build. And over time, I really understood that Tyler would be a huge asset to the team. And so it came to a point where it made sense for Tyler to join the team, and he became a full co-founder. And that was pretty far into the journey, to be completely honest. But it's lonely being a solopreneur. It's lonely. You need someone to kind of put your thoughts through the ringer, someone to push on you, and the skill sets. Like when you meet someone like Tyler, you're just naturally drawn to how intelligent and how good he is. So for me, I wanted full buy-in from someone else, and I was patient for that. I was happy to work in whatever capacity Tyler was able to do, and when the time came, it was great to be able to bring him on full time and have him be a full co-founder.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I mean, I think when a lot of people split off and decide to start their own company, I think what you're saying, it can be really lonely, but I think a lot of them like the ability to kind of, they've been under another company's umbrella or under a really heavy red tape structure with with whatever their organization was. And now they're excited to be the sole decision maker for now, for their new company. As you brought on Tyler, kind of a, more or less equal partner, what was that like for you? Was that a difficult transition to now have somebody else kind of sharing leadership responsibilities with you?
In all honesty, it wasn't that hard. Like I know, like when you ask that question, it very much sounds like it should have been difficult. Really, like you have to be pretty humble to get the best results, and you have to admit that customer feedback is better than my own feedback, and that other people have better ideas than I do a lot. And so, bringing on someone who could push is actually a huge benefit, to have someone say, hey, I disagree with that opinion, or that really makes sense, or why don't we get some more data before we make that decision? Just that back and forth for me was really what I needed, and I think most businesses need. I look at some of the decisions I would have made, and they would have been terrible. And having someone to push on that really made a much better paradigm. So, and especially someone with a different background and different decision makings and a different view on the world, you know, the diversity of thought. I think it's healthy for anyone to have that co-founder and have someone bought in. And on the other side, like the idea of, you know, sometimes you just have a crappy day and it's brutal, and to have someone pick you up, and the days they're having a hard time, you pick them up. And so like losing some decision making, giving up equity, in the long run, like that's not the goal. The goal is to build something amazing. And if that's your real objective, you want to be pushed in a really hard way. You're not going to have all the answers, and having someone there to kind of put you in check is the best thing for your customers, for your investors, shareholders, and for your well-being as well. And so for me, it was a natural decision that I'm really proud that we made, and I don't ever regret any of it.
I don't know why you would say that startups sometimes have crappy days. It's a pretty linear journey.
Yeah, never at all. Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know, what's interesting is that your co-founder, Tyler, it wasn't, you know, your best friend or a childhood friend or somebody. It sounds like you really kind of hired for your weakness, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, I'm not a developer, I'm a marketer. And so for me, I looked at as many resources as possible to develop the product, to build the product, and really just happenstance through my brother-in-law, I happened to meet Tyler. And from that perspective, you know, just had some good conversations with them. And, you know, at the very beginning, it was just, hey, I've got an hour or two at night, and, you know, let me help you kind of architect it and think about it the right way. And then just, you know, his passion for the project grew and mine grew, and you know, and it was just nights and weekends for a very long time. Like he was so good about really being respectful to his current employer and making sure that he only gave me the time after hours and whatnot. But eventually, like he decided, great, let's be all in, and we made that transition. But yeah, I had to find the resource. Like I couldn't build it. And so I looked at agencies, I looked all over the place. And like when you find the fit, you're like, okay, cool. That's exactly where I need to go. And, you know, in my circumstance, like I had to be patient. And I said, okay, you know, it's maybe 1 hour at night, you know, at 10 o'clock at night when his kids go to bed, that he can work on the project. I'm going to do that because I feel like he is making me better and making the business better. And so the timeline was much longer, but when you see what is the right fit, you're willing to wait and be patient for it.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So, I mean, one of the strategies that it sounds like you guys have implemented is, one, have a really open, candid relationship, but really being fully invested and bought in to the vision of Masset. I mean, what other strategies have you guys implemented to really leverage your respective strengths and drive the vision of Masset forward?
Yeah, our investors have been really good at forcing this discipline on us. So shout out to John and Tyler Richards. What they've done is they really believe in the lean startup methodology. And for us, the real rigor for us is when we're really passionate about something, great. Like we both agree that we can move forward with those opportunities, but really we need data. And so we have pushed back development on products and features, just so we can interview as many people as possible and make sure we're building the right functionality, building the right things. So you would think about it like typically you maybe have some heavy opinions from founders and things like that. Really what we've done is just, if we disagree, it's okay, well, let's go collect data, and the data will make the decision as opposed to an individual. So that's been like a motion and a muscle we've really had to figure out and exercise. that has made a really big impact. And it's been so good because we've been so close to our customers, and it's gotten Tyler really close to marketers. It's gotten me a lot closer to the tech stack. Like, it's really forced us, like when Tyler's like, hey, here's this really robust permission structure for who can view content, when and how, and all of this stuff. I don't know any of that stuff. And then I can go to him and be like, okay, this is how content marketing works and stuff like that. And so it's kind of a nice way to use the data to bridge each other's strengths and weaknesses and help us kind of understand the entire process that we're going through.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. So you're now in the process. You were a solo entrepreneur. You've now got a co-founder. What advice would you give to other co-founders that are considering bringing on a partner?
Good question. Number one is you really do have to find the right fit that complements your skills. If you're, and I can only speak to my experience, in B2B SaaS technology kind of stuff, really you need to have someone that can build it. Outsourcing the building phase really early on is just really expensive and almost impossible to do. Some people have pulled it off. But I think most investors would agree that you're going to have someone who can build it. And then I would recommend that the other co-founder is someone who's personally felt the pain of the problem. This is something I'm really passionate about, where if you haven't personally felt the pain, it's really hard. You're going to go through so many motions just to kind of discover pain because you feel like you found this golden opportunity. And I think passion and this opportunity to really work with the kinds of people that you've worked with and the kinds of people you relate with is far more valuable than just kind of seizing golden opportunities. I look at the number of AI startups right now, and I think a lot of people are just really going after this open opportunity, and that's great. But if you can apply that to something you're passionate about, to a problem that you felt, the likelihood for success is infinitely higher. And I think your ability to be innovative is infinitely higher. The other piece of advice when it comes to like finding a counterpart is you really need to be patient. Don't rush into it. You're going to spend as much time with this person as a spouse or a partner. You're going to be around them all the time. You're going to talk a lot. You have to be able to have productive conflict. You have to be able to build on each other's energy. You have to see the world in a little different lens because you want the diversity of thought. You can't just have an echo chamber for your own thoughts. You need some push and pull. And then really it's just a little bit of luck is going to go a long ways, like just the random introductions and, divine intervention or whatever it may be for you is kind of keep your eyes open for the opportunities that present themselves, because they're always there. You just have to be looking for the right people and opportunities to take advantage of them.
Yeah. Well, Ben, very excited about where you and Tyler are headed, what you guys are building, and all the success that Masset will inevitably have. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
You bet. Happy to do it. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you for watching. And until next time, keep innovating.